following program is a presentation of Jez Sports.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Main Event Podcast. Today we are talking about Wrestle Kingdom 18, nearly said 17 then. And as always, my name is Dan. I'm the current champion, as you can see. That's Jez. How you doing, Jez?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. Life's
Yeah.
average.
Life's average.
A rousing endorsement of life. It's average. Yeah.
How lovely. But do you know what's not average? The fact that this episode of the Main Event Podcast is sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks, as Jez will now model, looking sexual. Get yourself a case of their all-natural energy drink in original mango, which is what I have right here, the horny goat, or the truly sexual cherry, which Jez is
That's why I went with my sexy face.
Your sexy face. Your
Zoolander.
Your come hither face.
Yeah.
See why your wife married you. If you want anything, to go to goatdrinks.co.uk and enter the code JEZ10 at the checkout for 10% off and free shipping, which is lovely.
I'm going to probably have to take advantage of my own code shortly because...
Are you running low?
I am running low, yeah. Need more of this cherry especially.
Well, we know what you're ordering then.
Very intrigued to try it with various spirits, so
perhaps we should do a drinking one night.
Sounds good to me. I'll happily get drunk. I think there are certain events that we'll need to be
Drink
libated for, shall we say. I think we're all right for the next little while because we've got obviously Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber will probably be good because it's in Australia and they're going to go ham on it, and WrestleMania will be fine, and New Japan are in a boom period after Wrestle Kingdom. We'll get into that. Yeah. But when we get kind of springtime and might need to drink
all goes
then.
Downhill.
It often does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we will be talking about Wrestle Kingdom today, as well as very briefly talking about at least a couple of things from New Year's Dash, which happened the next day. But first, some news. I need to get my my news sting going again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah, no. What was that one?
That.
Oh yeah. That was after the news. After I'm afraid I've got some news.
Some news.
That was actually a really good Wade Barrett impression. I don't think I've done as good a Wade Barrett impression as that as my entire life. But yeah, I think we'll take the Wade Barrett voice and create a cartoon of it, because it kept getting copyright blamoed on YouTube for being Wade Barrett's face, even though I'd tried to reverse it and obscure it and stuff. I'm like, come on guys, we're having fun here. Just let me have some fun. It's Wade Barrett. Got news. Get it?
Got news.
It's not even always bad news. We're being nice about you sometimes, unless it's NXT.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's all to say. Yes, this is the news. We also have to bring back Dan's dirt sheet and get that squelchy sting back out again. First bit of news that I want to talk about with you, Dan. It's a few weeks old now. Andrade has exited AEW. He had his match at World's End with Miro. He was betrayed by CJ Perry in a very strange event. It was a bit weird as I was watching it, and I was like, what is this about? And then it transpires that he's decided to book it from AEW.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Fine. I don't think he was doing much in AEW anyway, to be honest. So
he spent most of his contract not wrestling for AEW. In fact, he was just sat on the sidelines. And I know he had an injury, it turned out, that they kept quiet. We thought it was disgruntledness.
Yeah.
But, clearly he's not that thrilled with his position. Otherwise, he'd be working to stay.
Yeah,
it didn't sound like something that was a mutual decision. It sounded like Andrade saying, "Yep, I'm gone. See you.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Goodbye." And I don't know what the status of his relationship with Charlotte currently is, because it seems like we were told that they were getting a divorce.
Yeah,
but then it also seems like, you know, he was still doing the figure eight, and I'm like, would you be doing the move of somebody that you're divorcing, perhaps? You know,
don't know.
Is Ric Flair joining AEW a source of tension? I really don't know. And then Charlotte was at a CMLL event the other day. And I don't know if Andrade was there wrestling at it, but you know, it's all a bit bizarre. It's a bit odd. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there or where we'll see Andrade. I would like Andrade to go back to Japan. Yeah. Personally, get him in LIJ. Yeah. And then he can be laying there all sexy with his fist up like everyone else. Yeah. In other news, more exits from companies. This one is a lot bigger an exit, because this person has been with said company for eons. Kevin Dunn, executive producer of WWE, has quit. He handed in his notice, worked his notice period, and the end of 2023 was it for him. He has been with WWE longer than I have been alive.
And that's long.
Thanks for that, Dan. Yeah. So he joined WWE in 1984 and has been the one responsible for TV and pay-per-view for at least the last 30 years. Reports suggest that he was a Vince McMahon guy through and through, and came down to him not wanting to work there without Vince. Yeah. Changes were being made internally since TKO took over, and after the merger, one source said that Dunn, quote, was never going to do anything that was dictated. Well, that's kind of how working for people works, unfortunately. But he also didn't want to alter the production style as he saw it. So he was like, "Oh, we're going to change this," and he was like, "Nah, actually." So he's gone. He's going to go and do TV or movies, apparently. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's kind of known of Kevin Dunn, I think, if you've been following WWE at all. Yeah. And they know that he's been heavily backstage throughout his whole time there. So I think it's going to be a big loss.
It's quite funny, the number of stories that have come out about him from former writers, the big kind of rumor mongers that used to write for WWE, like Brian Alvarez and such, who were like, "Yeah, I don't think I had a conversation with Kevin Dunn the entire time I was there." I'm like, right, did he just hide in the truck and do stuff then?
Yeah, he must have.
You know, there aren't many people who have managed to hang on in WWE for that long. No. You know, you can probably name those people on one hand, and some of them, you know, died rather than quit. Like Howard Finkel. Yeah. Like he worked with WWE forever, and then even though he stopped ring announcing, he was still doing things for Vince and that kind of thing. Yeah. People very rarely are there that long. Yeah. So it is a big move. Yeah. That said, I feel like the production of WWE kind of needed a little bit of a shake-up. There have been some, how do I put it, things that have not changed with the times. Yeah. That needed to be addressed. I feel like it took them far too long to go HD. Yeah. I know that was 15 years ago now, but I feel like it took them far too long to really go HD and master that. They kept that awful WWE HD thing in the corner for like easily 6, 7, 8 years. Yeah. I'm like, we know it's HD. It's been that way since 2008. Could you get this thing out of the way? Yeah. And so now that you are looking for new TV rights companies for 2024. I know there's only Raw left to go. SmackDown is going to USA, and NXT is going to the CW. Having somebody else pushing the buttons and saying camera 3, camera 12, etc.
Yeah,
it's probably about time.
Yeah.
So that's 2 major exits, one more major than the other.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. It's a bit of a chuckle, really.
Yeah.
Road Dogg. Remember Road Dogg?
I remember Road Dogg.
Yeah. He says in an interview that he is a better sports entertainer than MJF. Let's give him the chance to clarify. Maybe he's maybe he's got something to back up this claim. So, and I quote, in the words of Michael Cole, "So let me just give this to you plain and simple. The Road Dogg," speaking about himself in the third person, that's how you know he's a sports entertainer. "The Road Dogg is a better sports entertainer than MJF, and that is no disrespect to MJF. Sounds like it is. I met the individual. He's a very respectful young man, a very smart young man, very smart in the way that he eats and the way he trains." Okay, that's a random compliment, but fine. Yeah. "He surpasses me in everything, but I wanted to make the one line that everybody will read very clear. I'm a better sports entertainer than MJF."
No, you're not.
No. I think you probably were back in the 90s, but that's because MJF wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
As soon as MJF was born, probably not, Yeah. The last relevant thing that Road Dogg did, really, was announced that he'd stolen a tag team title from WWE when they were doing that Lost Treasures show.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I just walked off with this belt." I'm like, "Okay, you just admitted larceny on national television, but okay, sure, yeah." He's just trying to get some headlines, and all he's really inadvertently done is given attention to MJF, and probably not what he wants to do for his best mate Triple H.
No.
So maybe he should just shut his mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when we were, lining up the best of 2023, we mentioned MJF several times. I don't think we said the word Road Dogg last week. So
I don't think we ever have.
No, unless it's been, somebody like Ali or one of our listeners who prefer the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Coming in and reminiscing. I don't think we've ever talked about Road Dogg, so...
No.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. We say no.
Sorry, dog.
Sorry, dog. And our final bit of news, and this is exciting, probably more exciting for you as somebody who is surrounded by these things and is holding on to our championship belt with a pincer-like grip.
Hell yeah.
TNA, who are relaunching this weekend with Hard to Kill, have got a range of brand new championship belts. And, spoiler alert, they are sexy.
They are sexual.
Most of them have been made by Wildfire Belts, who have made lots of belts for people in the past, especially the TNA World Championship that I've got, the old school one with the big TNA logo on the front. Looks like the big gold.
Sexual.
It is a sexual one. And they've announced most of them as of recording here on the 11th of January. We've only got the Knockouts tag team titles left to go because we just today had the Knockouts World Championship. So we're going to have a look at them and discuss them. Which belt would you like to look at first?
Let's go for the big one. Let's go for the TNA World.
Yeah, you went Impact then as well, didn't you?
Nearly said Impact.
So I've tried to pull together the Wildfire Belts pictures that they've taken on a random table outside because you get a better look at them. So here's the TNA World Championship. And in a word, your initial reaction is?
Sexual.
Mine is oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
It's got
a good-looking belt.
Yes. I've always liked red on gold. I think that looks really good. Yeah. And it has got lots of hallmarks of all of their other belts that they've had in the past. I said to you in our messenger chat, it looks like a cross between the original TNA World Championship, so the first one that they brought in after they left the NWA, and the most recent Impact World Championship.
Yeah.
It's like they smushed them together, which is what you want to do for a company that's gone from one thing to the other, and a rebrand like that. The only thing that I'm not hugely keen on is the side plates. I like the one nearest the middle, the two kind of symmetrical ones either side there. But like this one is just there's not enough going on for me really. Like I can't see it fully, but it looks like they've just got the TNA logo in the middle on some
it's
some
mostly
gold.
TNA logo, and it's just like a floral design or
that bit's not really doing it for me. And then the other bit on the far side underneath your face, which has got the Anthem logo on it, I'm not against them having a plate with the Anthem logo on it. You know, God knows Vince McMahon had the McMahon family crest on the WWE Championship for years. I think it's still there, in fact, hidden away in some of the ornate bits somewhere. My problem is it's not symmetrical.
I do like a belt with a sixth plate like that, and all of these belts, new belts, do have the sixth plate on it, which is I do like. I'm fine with the rest of it. I think it's all fine, all good.
Like you could have had the Anthem on the next one in, and just had the 5 plates. Really, I don't think you need. I don't like 6 on there. You can't get symmetry. I like symmetry, Dan.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. Well, we're off to a hot start there with the TNA World title. Let's go to the X Division Championship next.
Yeah. Another sexual one.
It is indeed. Switching from gold to silver. So it's our first silver belt that we're going to look at today. There are some details on here that I don't quite understand, but they do look good.
Yeah.
Like in the direct middle at the bottom there, I've really no idea what's going on. Is that a bee or some kind of...
I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's more just like a florally pattern.
Yeah. Again, this is kind of a cross of various different X Division championships. I think the X Division Championship is the belt that has changed the most in the history of TNA.
Yeah.
They've had quite a few. Thankfully, they haven't gone back to the original belt, which was literally just a giant X on a gold plate, and it just looked amateur hour, like, you know, a 4-year-old had drawn it. Like, here, Jimmy, draw us an X Division Championship. Okay, there you go, Dad. Like, right, yeah, great. So there's some detail to this, and I like that. I like the side plates. I like the general shape of it. Yeah. It's quite difficult to incorporate an X into your title belt and not make it look weird. So I appreciate that. A lot of talk has been going around about the total non-stop action and the wrestling font that's on these belts. I like it.
I've got to say. As well. I think it's different.
Me too. I just hope that they actually use that font for their logo and branding in the show. It hasn't been on any of their like pictures or promotional material for anything so far, but we'll have to wait till Hard to Kill to see what things actually look like.
The only thing I'll say about this belt, and somebody spoiled it for me, is, and I'm going to spoil it for you.
Go for it.
The champion banner at the bottom looks like a giant moustache.
Oh, mate, it does, doesn't it? That doesn't ruin it for me. That makes it even better. Is it perhaps foreshadowing Trent Seven winning the X Division Championship? You know,
maybe.
You know, I'd be down for that. Yeah. I mean, I'll take a mustache over a freaking ball sack like we've got on the US title any day. So, yeah. Mustaches over balls. That's what I say. Right, next. Let's go to the TNA World Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
And our third splash of colour. We've got red leather for these.
Yeah, red strap.
So, I wonder if the women's or the Knockouts World Tag Team title is going to have a red strap as well.
Maybe, or it might be white.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this trend of having women's belts have white leather.
Yeah.
Like WWE started it, or I assume started it. I didn't see it much before that.
No.
Before that, it was used for, prestige. Like
the Intercontinental.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've got a UK title in white there behind you, have you?
Those are women's.
Oh, they are. That's the women's one.
Those are the two women's NXT UK titles.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So the total non-stop action font here is prominent.
Yeah.
So you can see it a bit better.
Right.
If you wanted to talk about that. This has got a pretty unique shape.
I like the shape. It is a bit different.
Yeah. It's probably the weakest of the designs for me so far, but that's not to say that it's bad.
Yeah, I will say it's the weakest. I will agree on that. It's the weakest, but I still like it. I still love it. I think this is the first time in a company where I've liked all the belts so far.
Yeah.
These new ones.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's not very often that you have a complete redesign of belts from top to bottom. So for them to be smashing it like this, fair play.
I can't wait for the Knockouts tag.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what that looks like. I assume it'll be roughly the same kind of shape as this, because the Knockouts is a similar shape to the world title.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I don't know why, because I don't really think they look that similar, but this really reminds me of the old WCW Tag Team Championship.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. Just maybe because it was a special, unique shape.
Yeah.
Not this shape, but a different shape. So maybe that's why. Like the little arrowhead kind of plates on the side.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Right, let's do the Digital Media Championship, and then we'll do the Knockouts, which is the most recent announcement, last.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, this one.
Yeah.
We've got a mixture of gold and silver for this.
Yeah, I like
it. It's kind of on the nose, like digital. Okay, we've got a microchip kind of
circuit board
design going on with it. Again, the only real disappointing thing with this is that Tommy Dreamer's the first person to hold it.
Yeah.
You had your chance to rectify that, TNA, and you blew it.
Yeah. I do like this belt. I do like it. And I like how on the other belts, the champion and all that, I like banners, but on this it's more a circuit board chip put on top.
It's like a microchip that's sticking out like a heat sink or something.
Yeah, it looks really good. And I like the shape as well. The old Digital Media Championship, I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing special, was it?
The shape was just slightly off, and somebody described it perfectly. It looks like a fluffy cloud. The shape was all kind of bubbly like that sort of thing, Whereas this is more, I think, better, and it's
it's more fitting, isn't it?
Times, shall we say?
Yeah. I'm surprised there aren't a few, unless I've overlooked them, like social media kind of logos snuck in here anywhere, or
I don't think
like
there is.
No. Yeah, and again,
but they probably have trouble getting the licensing to have the logos.
That's true. Yeah. And then you got companies who just change their logos all the time, and you'd be changing your championship all the time, and who wants to do that? Yeah. Finally then, and unfortunately we haven't got a nice Wildcats belt on a table look for this, so with apologies to Trinity's crotch, here is a zoom in, the best we can get on this. I don't think the lighting that TNA used for the promotional photos has really done the belts all that much justice.
No.
It's been hard to see the details on this, but this is another good-looking belt.
One. Yeah. Yes. Another unique shape, I think.
Yeah, so if we just bring up the world title behind it, it's kind of similar shape. The world title has got a... Oh, no, they've both got the sticky out bits, actually. So,
they've both got the sticky out bits, but the world title's got more... It's more like a floral sticky out bit. That's the women's Knockouts. Yeah. Is more just dunk, dunk, dunk sort of thing. So it is a bit different.
Yeah. But, working to the same theme, you've got the gold with the black accents and the red sticking out of it. You'd probably be able to see it a bit better once we have the Wildcats belts
proper pictures,
picture and on television when they inevitably zoom into them, which they absolutely should.
Absolutely.
Hopefully with much better production value in 2024 than we've had from Impact the last few years. But the only thing I'm concerned about this one is there looks like a lot of empty flat space on the side plates. And that could just be lack of definition from the photography, or it could be that there's nothing there.
Yeah, I reckon it's more the lighting and the camera and all that sort of thing.
Because they've all looked slightly muted.
Yeah, so I think when we get the proper pictures, it'll look better, effectively.
Yeah. So there you go. We've got one belt left to go. That will probably drop tomorrow. Follow social media for that. We'll be talking about that there, and probably next week on the Main Event podcast as well. There we go. So that was the news. And we'll move swiftly forwards now to our discussion of New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 18. Now I will get straight out there and say, and I don't know how we managed to do this, predictions wise, we predicted identically. Absolutely identically. And I don't really understand how, especially considering we had the New Japan Rambo to kick things off, which was a Royal Rumble type thing with no announced competitors. Maybe that's the reason. We both went for Taichi to come in and re-win the KOPW championship. That didn't happen.
No.
And so we'll start with nothing each. But impressive that we managed to completely identically do this entire event, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was a WWE event. There's less matches, it's more predictable, but I don't think New Japan is particularly predictable. And I felt like I was going out there on some of the picks, and you went out there with me, so I'm like, okay, fair enough. And as much as I say that New Japan isn't predictable, I hope you'll bear that in mind as we continue to run through our score, dear listeners. So the first match of the main show was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Bullet Club War Dogs, the team of Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, taking on Catch 2-2, TJP, and Francesco Akira. Now, the main story from this, obviously, was, and I've already forgotten its name, the Filipino devil character that
Fiend.
Basically the Fiend, that TJP had transformed himself into for this match. What was it called? The Aquila, was it?
I can't remember.
TJP character. I don't know really what to search to try and Wrestle Kingdom. I don't even know what to search to find the answer. That I'm sure it was something like the Aswang. That's it.
Aswang.
I don't think they said Wang. I think that's me mispronouncing it. I think it was Aswang. Oswang. That sounds better. Yeah. Because I don't think they wanted to be called a Wang.
No.
Anyway, so what did you think of the character? What did you think of the match? What did you think in general of this opener?
Character, I think I'm there for it. Bring it on.
I like that he wasn't in this character again the following night on New Year's Dash, that it's something that he pulls out on special occasions.
I think that's cool.
It's more, Finn Balor's demon than the Fiend, which is a constant character. That character only came out during the special things in WWE, at least. I'm not sure about in New Japan because it predates my viewing of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I like it as an intermittent character that comes out for the special occasions. And no occasion is more special on the wrestling calendar in general, I would say, at the moment than Wrestle Kingdom. We both went for Bullet Club War Dogs to win. They did not. Catch 2-2-1, so we still are yet to pick up a point. But a decent opener.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Next match, quite early in the card for my money, but it is a television championship. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. President Tanahashi.
Tanahashi.
Now in charge of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Hiroshi Tanahashi winning the belt. A year to the day that Zack Sabre Jr. became the inaugural champion.
Yeah.
And, they made a big deal of it being the only belt that Tanahashi has never won because it's only had one champion before.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he's president now.
He's got it.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tanahashi winning this belt, which was supposed to be for young mid-card talent?
Not very happy about it.
No. I would hope that it's just a means to getting the belt off Zack Sabre Jr. With a credible opponent, and Tanahashi will drop it to somebody more the ilk of that championship fairly soon. Yeah. Or maybe even on the next tour. You never know.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of Tanahashi winning this mid-card belt, especially now that he's the president. It's kind of bizarre, really.
Very bizarre. It's basically like he's gone, all right, I'm president now. That's the only title I haven't won. I'm winning it.
Yeah, it does reek of that. And I don't think that is what's happened. But optics matter, and that's exactly what it looks like. So, yeah. So with that in mind, we both went for Zack Sabre Jr. for the win because it made sense to us, which means 3 matches in, we're still yet to hit that board.
We are the O's.
Massive donuts. Next, the battle of the former Young Lions, Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura. I mean, it's silly to say the battle of the former Young Lions. They're all former Young Lions. They all had to come through the dojo and do all that. But you know what I mean.
Do we, though?
I hope so. If not, pay attention. Another surprising outcome for me.
Yeah.
Yota Tsuji picking up the win over... Uemura picking up the win over Yota Tsuji. We both went for Yota Tsuji, so we still have nothing. Decent match.
Yeah.
Nothing really special. They've got a lot of work yet to do, and they did mention that we'll probably see this as a Wrestle Kingdom main event down the line for the World Championship, and they probably will.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense that Uemura won, I guess, but at the same time, I like the story that Uemura just couldn't get one over on Yota Tsuji. I thought that was a good story, and considering Uemura never smiles and never looks happy about anything, just give him a reason to never be happy. He can't beat Yota Tsuji. That would make me miserable. So now that he's won, maybe he can crack a smile. Like, for the love of God, that guy looks like you just stabbed his puppy in the eye. Like, he is so downtrodden all the time. I'm like, you're in Just 5 Guys. Do you know how cool Just 5 Guys are? We love Just 5 Guys.
You already die.
I mean, you can't use plurals, but still.
You can't use plurals.
So that match happened. It was fine.
Yeah.
On to the next match. I think, and it's not really a slight on them, just that it was a stacked card. I think the next match was the weakest match on the card, personally. Shota Umino and Kaito Kiyomiya versus the House of Tortures team of Evil and Ren Narita. Sold out Ren Narita. How are you finding, a few weeks in, Ren Narita's heel House of Torture character?
Yeah, all right.
I think it suits him a lot better than the kind of strong style thing he was going for. He does look like an angry man, so putting him in the House of Torture, where he can just have his resting bitch face under a cloak, is perfect for him, really. Yeah. Did you enjoy the match?
It was fine.
It was pretty short. He didn't really hang around long enough to formulate any opinion either way, really. was the last of the kind of opening matches before we got into the real meat of the show, and it did feel a little bit like, okay, let's get this done and crack on with the show.
Yeah.
We both went for the babyface team of Umino and Kiyomiya to win, and we failed again. So 5 matches in, we are still yet to put a number on the board.
We're good at this, people.
It's not going very well. Yeah. I know I'm only a few years into watching New Japan, but I did expect a little bit better than this myself, to be honest. House of Torture won that, and I guess the House of Torture always wins. We should have known.
Yeah.
6th match, Never Openweight Championship, Shingo Takagi versus Tama Tonga. Get right in there.
Yeah.
We both went for Tama Tonga, and so finally we're on the board, and finally we're the ones.
We're the ones.
6 matches in, Dan.
It took a while.
It did take a very long time. And the funny thing is, if I knew now what I didn't know then, there's a phrase that I've butchered in there somewhere. If I'd have known at the time that Tama Tonga was going to immediately announce that he was going to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling at the end of the month afterwards, I would not have put my money on him to win the belt. No. I would have put my money on Takagi. So thank you, Tama, for not saying that in advance and saving it for afterwards. It's a bit of a strange move for me to put the belt on somebody that is leaving, you know. I assume New Japan knew about it before booking this, or has he blindsided them? He's like, yes, Tama Tonga, we're putting the belt on you. You're our man for the future. You're going to carry this belt into 2024 and beyond. What do you mean you're leaving? Yeah, it would be a bit of a stab in the face if that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, again, unpredictable. You got to give them that.
Yeah.
Just shame for Shingo Takagi, because I felt like he was just getting his run started really with the championship. But there you go. Thoughts on Tama Tonga leaving then?
Yeah, all right. I know that a while ago that WWE were quite interested in Tama Tonga. So whether he might get picked up by them, I don't know.
That is the prevailing rumour, that WWE will come a-knocking for Tama Tonga. Yeah. Perhaps even as early as the Royal Rumble.
That'd be good.
You know, I know he isn't part of that family, but it would be classic WWE to once again introduce a Samoan member of the bloodline that helps Roman Reigns to retain the championship.
Shoehorn him in there.
Yeah, he's got 3 other people to defeat after all, you know. He needs a third helper in the bloodline to do that, perhaps.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm intrigued what happens with the rest of God, you know, whether his brother follows him or stays in New Japan. I think his brother is a lot further on in his career in terms of probably doesn't have that many years left in him. I'm not sure whether, you know, a WWE would sign him. Who knows? And I feel like he's just finding his feet in the singles ranks of New Japan as well. So we shall see. But I'd be excited to see Tama Tonga in WWE or AEW. So let's bring that on. February and beyond.
Yeah.
Next match then. Winner takes all. IWGP Tag Team Championship. Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship. Bishamon versus God, the team of Hikuleo and El Fantasmo. I mean, Hikuleo's a question of, you know, how long will he be with New Japan, or will he move on? There's been some other kind of dirt sheet stuff out there about El Fantasmo when his contract was up for renewal last year, that or a couple of years ago even, that he was interested in going to AEW, but Cody Rhodes never returned his call, so that never happened. It's a different world in AEW now, and especially in this babyface role that El Fantasmo has been in, I think he is coming to his own and could thrive stateside. Who knows? But anyway, Tag Team Championships, winner take all. God win it, become the 100th IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Cool.
walk out with all of the belts. What did you think of this match?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Quite enjoyed it. I do like El Fantasma, I have to say.
Yes, yeah. Logan Paul's long-lost twin brother.
Yeah.
They look very similar, which would be a reason to put them in the same ring together, really. It would be quite entertaining, at least for that one time.
They could do that Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you could find somebody else that looked a bit like them as well, because they do kind of look, generic white guy a little bit. So you could do a three-way kind of point.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I think Bishamon have been fantastic champions.
Yeah.
But I was quite vocal about it a few weeks ago. It is time to move on. Yeah. And I think that is exactly the plan. Yeah. GOD are defending these strong openweight tag team titles at Battle of the Valley against Bullet Club. So it could be that they very quickly split those apart and just keep the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see what we predict and what happens from that. But decent tag team match. And in this one, we both went for the Gorillas of Destiny. So we're on a roll. That's 2 in a row. And gives us 2 points.
Oh, thank you.
Indeed. 8th match. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Hiromu Takahashi versus El Desperado. This was an interesting one for me. I was wondering what El Desperado was going to bring to a championship match, a not kind of more hardcore kind of match. And I feel like he held his own, and the two had a really good match. It was rather technical, really, which I wasn't expecting fully. The outcome surprised me. Yeah. El Desperado picking up the win, becoming the new champion after Takahashi had held the belt for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily disappointed that El Desperado has got the belt.
No,
I think it was kind of coming to the time, but Takahashi should drop it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that were it not for the health issues that took place, that Takahashi would have dropped it to Lio Rush back in October, was it? September, October, when that was supposed to happen.
Like that,
and so, he's been holding on to it longer than he should have, really. Yeah. It's just unfortunate for Lio Rush that El Desperado got that story. Yeah. Rather than him, really. I'm more interested to see what happens with the junior heavyweight title going forward now, who El Desperado faces, what matches we get from that, and that's going to be quite exciting. I'm wondering if it's time for Takahashi to put on some weight and move on up to the heavyweight division. Leagues. Yeah. When you look at him, you kind of do think the next Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yeah. They've got similar sounding names. Yeah. In fact, it's one letter different for their for the family name. So, yeah. I think it's time to go and see what you can do in the heavyweight division. And if you can do that rapidly, New Japan Cup is a great place to go and make an impact and pick up some wins. Not win it, but go and make a good start. I think that would be cool. Yeah. We went for Takahashi for the win. I'm fine with being wrong, but it does leave us on 2. Yeah. Next, 3 matches to go, including the one we are about to talk about. IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. A new championship belt. Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley versus David Finlay. Yes. The match was cool. I really enjoyed the match. Yeah. We had, triple threat turn taking, but that was addressed directly by Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley beating the living hell out of Finlay and leaving him on the side, and then going and having their match. That. So that was decent enough. The real story out of this was the New Japan debut of Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. Now, I've got a question to float by you. I'm not sure if you've seen this doing the rounds on the internet so far. I don't think it's spread very far yet. Of the three biggest names that were released from WWE in the most recent round of releases that have announced debuts, Nick Nemeth, Matt Riddle, who we'll talk about shortly when we get to New Year's Dash, and Mustafa Ali. They have all debuted / made appearances so far in suits with white shirts and black ties. Is there a possibility that there is there's some kind of stable going on here, and that they are one and the same in a group?
I would like to think. I think that would be cool.
I think that would be awesome. But at the same time, I do think it's a massive coincidence.
I think it is just a massive coincidence that everyone they just
wanted to look good,
worn a suit
that's very similar. Yeah. But no, I'm excited to see what Nemeth can do. He can leave his brother behind. I couldn't give.
Yeah, he can leave.
I couldn't give two craps about his brother, if I'm being honest.
No.
And we are getting to get the result in. David Finlay won the match. None of us went for David Finlay.
No.
I almost did. I was like, it's probably going to be David Finlay as the only guy that still works for New Japan come the end of the month. But yeah, I went for Will Ospreay. You went for Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
No points there. But at Battle of the Valley, we're getting David Finlay versus Nick Nemeth for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. And I wonder if it's going to be the shortest reign for New Japan in quite some time. And Nemeth, who I still want to call Ziggler, even though that's a terrible name, and it was a terrible name when he was given it, and it's a terrible name now. Nick Nemeth, will he win the belt this Saturday?
Have to wait and see.
Yes, yeah. A big watcher to Tamzanaki coming in the chat. How you doing? Right, penultimate match. Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson. A rematch of their Submission Fest, Broken Arm Fest at Forbidden Door, AEW, NJPW Forbidden Door last year. Did this match live up to the hype of the last one? Was it better than their first outing?
I don't think it lived up to the hype. And I don't think it was better than their first one.
I agree with you on both counts. It was a good match.
It was a good match. Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. It was a good match.
You know, Okada and Danielson on a bad day is better than 99% of people on their best day. But, yeah, I'm not sure about Danielson wrestling with one eye.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's working. And he's wrestling too much. I know he's put himself on a clock. He's going to, retire from the ring next year. But... no, could you not just extend that time and give yourself some time to heal? Because, bro, you are broken and you need to chill out a little bit. And so, obviously, with that advice, he's like, F you guys, I'm going to go and face Zack Sabre Jr. at the next big New Japan event at the beginning of next month. I'm like, right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Your bones are breaking left, right, and center, and you're going to go and see someone that's a submission specialist is going to kick your face off. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. He may not get to his retirement at this stage.
No.
He may be taken out on a stretcher, which
broken.
is disappointing. But no, I'm right there with you. It was decent, but it was not as good as Forbidden Door, and it's probably more, a testament to how good their match was at Forbidden Door, despite the fact that Danielson wrestled most of it with a broken arm.
Yeah.
There you go. It did do a good thing in that it gave us both a point. Kazuchika Okada was the pick and the win, which means that we move up to 3. V1 now. Or Team 3D, whichever you prefer.
3D.
Main event then. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Jez's favourite boy, Sanada, versus Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah.
This match pretty much played out as I've been playing it out in my head ever since Naito won the G1 tournament.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any surprises in this, really. A Naito match is a Naito match. You're going to get Destino 6 times.
Yeah.
You're going to probably get him stealing a finisher. You're going to get a lot of kick outs at 2 3/4. And it's going to look like Naito is going to lose for the first half of the match. And then it looks like he's never going to be able to pin you because you keep kicking out for the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he just all of a sudden hits multiple Destinos and wins.
Yeah.
It was almost like this match was a bit of a carbon copy of the G1 final with Okada, actually. It's just put a sexier man in there, just about. In Sanada instead of Okada. Yeah. What did you think of the match?
I thought it was great.
Yeah?
Definitely my match of the night, I'd say.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you what your match of the night was, and you've preempted that straight away with the main event. And you would hope that the main event is the match of the night. It's not always the case, but yeah, it was a very good match. Yeah. How do you feel about Naito as the world champion?
Bring it on.
I'm less enthused.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was okay with it, but I don't like this story they've been doing probably since G1, where it's like, is Sanada a worthy champion? Like, yes, Sanada was a worthy champion, and just because you didn't put world title caliber opponents up against him in that first couple of months, it's not his fault. Like, you gave him Yota Tsuji in his first title match. Like, this wasn't anything to do with him. You could have put him up against Naito or a rematch with Okada there and then, but you chose to give him the young lion in his first match back.
Yeah.
You chose to have him feud with Evil and have Evil steal his belt for 3 months. Like, you chose, when you were booking Forbidden Door with Tony Khan, to give him Jungle Boy instead of MJF or somebody like that.
Proper.
Yeah. There's plenty of world title caliber people that Sanada could have beaten. Yeah. Like, obviously, he was going to win. He was going to be booked to win. And there were plenty of better people than Jungle Frickin' Boy to give him some credibility for his championship. Like, give him Jericho, for God's sake. Yeah. I know that it was Jericho Ospreay and that was a big deal. No, that wasn't at Forbidden Door, was it? That was at All In.
That was All In.
Who did Jericho face at Forbidden Door? Did Jericho face anyone at Forbidden Door?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You could have done better. So don't blame Sanada for bad booking and say that he's a paper champion. I don't like it. It's not. It doesn't sit right with me. That said, I do like Naito as a champion, and I'm interested to see where it goes going forwards. Yeah. Likewise, I think we're going to move into Yuya Uemura facing off all of his members of Just Five Guys, because that was the promise for joining the group, that he gets to wrestle all of them. So we'll move into that portion of the story, and okay, fine. Sanada will eventually get back to the title, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
My match of the night. I think it was probably either the triple threat for the Global Heavyweight Championship, or pardon me, or Shingo Takagi versus Tama Tonga.
Oh yeah,
they were both decent. I think in general it was just a decent event from start to finish. With nothing really standing out more than anything else. No. But final question about this then. Wrestle Kingdom 17 or 18?
17.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have shouted from the rooftops that Wrestle Kingdom 17 is probably the best wrestling event to take place in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my list of, you've never watched wrestling before, what events should you watch?
Watch Wrestle Kingdom.
My
17.
list of 2 is both 17s. WrestleMania 17 and Wrestle Kingdom 17. 17 is just
17 is a number.
It's just a key to quality, obviously.
There you go.
Yeah. both cracking events. And then on the following night, we both went for Naito for the win, so that takes us to 4 apiece.
4 horsemen.
And then the next night, New Year's Dash, which I feel like I watched it last year, but had forgotten the premise and the format of it. Basically, they don't announce the card in advance, and you don't know that you've got a match as a competitor until somebody slips a note under your door to say that you're wrestling next.
Fair enough.
Made it difficult for us to predict, obviously, but there was one match that we were able to predict. It was set up by the Rambo, Taiji Ishimori, Great-O-Khan, Toru Yano, and Yo for the KOPW 2024 Championship. 2 great competitors and 2 comedy competitors who I don't really have any time for personally. We both got this wrong, but in different ways. You went for Yo to win, and I could see that prediction. I went with Great-O-Khan, and I still stand by that. And it was won by Taiji Ishimori, which is the other decent winner as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So we shall see how that progresses. I think he's facing Taichi.
Is he?
At whatever this weekend's called, Battle at the Valley. Is it Taichi? He's facing someone. He's defending the belt. So that's hot potatoes all the way through the year until it's the last event, and then that person is crowned the official KOPW. Taichi managed to keep it at the end of 2023. Will he win it again? Yeah. We shall see. But with that failed prediction, amongst all of the other failed predictions, it means that our final prediction score for both of these events and to date, Jez 30, Dan 30.
Wow.
We came into it tied. We picked identically, and we came out of it tied.
What a surprise.
Some kind of maths in there that made that obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
The other major thing to discuss from New Year's Dash before we get the hell on out of here, I alluded to it earlier, after the Hiroshi Tanahashi defense of the NJPW World Television Championship, too many belts, Matt Riddle was announced to be joining New Japan Pro Wrestling in a video package in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Matt Riddle in New Japan?
Okay. I don't think he'll be well received by the fans.
I think it could go either way. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I feel like it's a better fit for him in Japan, or just not in America, basically. I don't feel like he'd have done very well in AEW, because the thing about Matt Riddle is what you see is what you get.
Yeah. That
wasn't really a character he was playing in WWE. Okay, like the best characters, it was him turned up to 11.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that flies in AEW in the same way as it would in WWE. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I feel like leaning into the real fight MMA background he's got, and being a kind of strong style wrestler in Japan, at least for a little while he repairs his image, I think that's a good fit. And we're working towards a match with Tanahashi, apparently, and that could be a perfect candidate for Tanahashi to drop the belt to in Riddle. So yeah, why not? I look forward to seeing what Riddle does going forward. He has a match at Battle in the Valley. He's in a tag team match with a yet to be named partner against TMDK, I believe. So
could be Mustafa Ali.
It could be Mustafa Ali. Yes. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Is he still going by Mustafa, or is he Mustafa now? That's the question.
I don't know. Or is he just Mustafa?
Or is he running for president? It looks like he's running for president in half of these video packages he's put out. But anyway, that brings our show to a conclusion. very excited about next week's episode, Dan, because this weekend are 2 big events. I'm not usually all that excited about New Japan Strong events, if I'm quite honest, but I am excited for Battle in the Valley. I really am. Yeah. There's a lot of good matches on that. It's mostly New Japan stars rather than New Japan Strong stars, so bring that on. I'm even excited for the Eddie Kingston match.
Flipping out.
So there you go. And in addition to that event, at the exact same time, TNA relaunch with Hard to Kill from Las Vegas. Get to see all of those belts in live and in living color, and all of the other things that are happening as a result of that. I hope it's a good show. I really do. Yeah. I want to see what they've done. They've had a month off to get ready for this, so I hope it's not just the same old ish that we've had for Impact Wrestling for the last couple of years, because that would be thoroughly disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've still got 2 days, TNA. If you're trying to phone it in, sort it out. It's not acceptable. There we go. We will depart, and we will see you next week to determine whether TNA phoned it in or went all in. Until then, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Oh, and the Effing Racing Show is back on Sunday. Do tune in, 5 p.m. UK time. We'll be talking about the first race in the Formula E season, which also takes place on Saturday. It's a busy day of sports on Saturday.
Busy day for you, Jez.
Right. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.